Okay, welcome. This is Blue Table Talk, and I'm your host, Deborah Jones. Welcome tonight. We have a great guest tonight, and before we get into our guest, let me talk to you. You know, I always have to do a little housekeeping. So don't forget, guys, COVID is back. We really never left, but we need to still take care of ourselves and I know we always come in contact with someone who has it, but kind of keep your hands clean, keep your mask on, and keep your distance still. I mean, not to say that you won't catch it, but it'll probably be a mild case. Continue to do what the CDC says. As far as that, let's go ahead and switch and let's talk about voting. Voting is almost here. It's almost time for voting. Early voting is starts October 24th through November 4th. Election day is November 8th. October 11th is the last day to register to vote. Did you hear what I said? October the 11th is the last day to register to vote. October the 28th is the last day to apply for mail ballot. Come on, let's get out there. If you know someone who has not registered to vote, get them out there to vote. Get them out there to register because we need your vote. This is a serious election, guys. We're real serious, and we need your vote, and we need you to come in like none other. Your voice matters. Don't ever let no one tell you that your vote does not count, and it does count. That's your voice. So if the person who you wanted to win does not win because you didn't vote, that's your fault. So let's get out there and vote. Remember, October 11th is the last day to register to vote. October 11th. October 28th, last day to apply for the mail ballot. Early election day is October 24th through November 4th. Election day is Tuesday, November 8th. Come on, y'all, get out there and vote. Find out who's running for what. If you don't find, I will always come on and tell you who's running, where to go vote, because you can vote anywhere. You just don't have to go in your precinct. You can vote anywhere. So let's get out there and do what we're supposed to do. Okay, with that being said, guess what? Tonight we have Attorney Judge Terrence Allison. Hey, Terrence, how are you doing?
Hello, how are you doing this evening?
I'm just peachy. Thank you for asking. Terrence, a lot of people probably don't know who you are. So give us a little synopsis about yourself.
Well, I'm an attorney. That's how people who know me know me. Before that, I was a teacher. I actually taught in BISD for 3 years before I went to law school. And before that, I was a graduate student I'm going backwards, at Texas A&M. And then before that, in 1990, I came to Beaumont to attend Lamar.
Mm-hmm.
And I did my Lamar stint from 90 to 94. From 94 to 97, I went to graduate school at A&M. After that, I returned to teach in Beaumont, taught for 3 years. And I thank God for the good folk at Willie Ray Smith Middle School, because those kids literally pushed me to law school. They ran me off. And so I went to Texas Tech School of Law, did that, took a job at a Beaumont firm that's now defunct, but it was called Adams and Coffee. I worked for them for a while, then left with one of the partners and went to a firm called Strong, Pipkin, Bissell, and Ledger. After that, I worked for Wells, Payton, and Greenberg and Hunt. And I remember one day I was staring out the window. It was a beautiful day. And I wanted to go play golf. And my work was done. And I realized, if I own my own place and I had all my work done, I could leave and go do something I enjoy. But because I work for this entity, I could not. And I made a decision to go out on my own. I've been practicing law for 18 years. And I was raised to be independent by my father.
Right.
To own my own. And so I took a bet on myself, ran some commercials, and now I work, I'm a partner at Carrier and Allison Law Group. My a lot of people know my partner. Her name is Melody Carrier. She used to represent BISD, and now she represents Port Arthur Independent School District, amongst other things. She does a lot of things. She helps a lot of people.
Right.
Very generous, kind person who just loves to help folk. We paired up. We started our firm during the pandemic.
Wow. Yes.
And God blessed us. We have 3 attorneys now and staff all over the place. We're thriving. We like to say we're not the only Black firm. I cannot say that because there are a couple, but we're striving to be the best, not just the best Black firm, but the best firm we can be. We help a lot of folk.
Right. That's great. That's awesome.
Yes, ma'am.
That's awesome. I didn't know there was a third person in there. I just thought it was just you and
You thought it was just me and Melody, huh? You need to come walk through the office.
I need to come walk through there.
You do, and see what we're doing. We have a wonderful young associate. His name is Maribius Allen. He is from my hometown of Longview, Texas. We hired him. The young man works so hard, we have to tell him sometimes to go sit down. Please take a day off. Yeah, he works that hard. We all work hard.
Right.
And he's a good example of a young man just trying so hard to make his way and pull his weight.
Right.
So I think we got it going on. I think we are a hidden gem. A lot of people know us, but a lot of people don't.
Right.
And so I'm glad to be here today to talk about it and talk about what I do.
Right. And I'm glad that you accepted the invitation to Blue Table Talk. I remember the day we met.
Yeah.
It was just not too long ago, and so I didn't know who you actually was. I know you was Terrence Allen because I see your commercial on television, and so, but I didn't know who Terrence Allen was. As a matter of fact, I thought he was out of state, whatever, you know.
Really?
I didn't know Terrence Allen was right here in Beaumont. I guess I didn't listen to the commercial.
Well, see. Oh, I left out something. Some people now, they've only seen me as a judge because I'm a judge for the city of Beaumont.
Okay.
So that's all they know. They come in there and they see me. I'm the mean judge. They think I'm mean.
Oh, yeah.
I'm really not. I'm just probably most likely to lecture you before I do something nice for you.
Right.
Judge. That's me.
Good. Judge Allison.
Hey,
let me ask you a question, because we have so many trials. We're going to talk about how to handle yourself in court.
That's the thing.
But before we even get to that point, there are a lot of people who go to court and they don't even know how to dress.
They don't.
How do you dress when you come to court?
Okay. I'm just going to talk to my community.
Yes.
Okay. First. Okay. If you have let's say you are destitute and you have very little, the best thing you can do, grab a pair of khakis, iron them, put on a little simple white shirt. It doesn't even have to be a button down, a little crisp polo. That's it. If you're a guy.
Mm-hmm.
If you're a guy. If you're a female, whatever the female equivalent of that, a simple outfit. That's it. You don't have to. Of course, you know your lawyer's gonna tell you to wear a suit. I'm talking about if you don't have one.
Right.
Now, of course, if you got a Sunday suit or your Sunday best, put that on. But the best thing to do, the thing to do that's better than the dressing is the attitude, the demeanor, the presentation. I always tell my clients, just imagine that the moment you step into the courthouse, the judge is watching you. Let's just pretend that the judge is somewhere in his chambers, just watching the video, and he can see you and hear you. And so he's going to be forming an opinion. Just imagine he's forming an opinion about you. He's listening to every word you say. Carry yourself like that from the moment you get out of the car until you make it up to the courtroom and until you leave. In fact, see, I have won cases before in the parking lot. I have parked my car before and heard the other side talking about the case, expressing opinions. These are witnesses,
right?
But they don't know who I am,
right?
And then they show up in court. I say, "Oh, That was that lady. That was that group.
Right.
I'm always listening.
Right.
People are always listening and forming opinions. You got to remember, judges are human beings. So they would never tell you, but they are not beyond engaging in stereotypes.
Mm-hmm.
They're humans. They're not Jesus and God.
Right.
They're flesh and blood. So they have attitudes, preferences. Okay. And you don't want to accentuate any negative stereotypes. Now, I'm not saying don't be true to who you are.
Right.
Be who you are, but a decent appearance,
Mm-hmm.
a spectacular attitude, an exceptional tone, how you say what you say, it's a big deal.
Right.
It's a big deal.
So if say I have a court date,
Right.
and a time,
Mhm.
and so my time is 10 o'clock. Should
Mhm.
I arrive at 10 o'clock, or should I arrive early, or should I just wait and let I know good and well I can't arrive there. I know that the court is not going to come in right at 10 o'clock. I know you
Right.
guys will come a little later, but they told me to be there for 10 o'clock. Should I be there for 10 o'clock?
You need to
Or
be
should
there at 9:30. 9:30.
Because
Because
they dragging late.
it doesn't matter. You don't know they're late.
No, I'm not you guys. I'm not talking about you guys. I'm talking about people in general.
Yeah, people, CPT does not work at the courthouse. You will get defaulted, you will lose.
Right.
These courts mean business. You
Mhm.
need to be on time. If your hearing is at 10, you need to show up at the courthouse about 9:30.
Right.
Just to be safe.
Just
Your lawyer might need to prep you. The judge could be running ahead or behind schedule and maybe move you up, get you out of there. Let's be on time. Your
Right.
lawyer, the biggest thing is that if your lawyer's there early too, your lawyer can calm you down.
Mhm.
Your lawyer can talk to you. Your lawyer, I'm a praying lawyer. I pray with my clients.
Mhm.
He'll go off into the corner and pray. Or you might see me sitting there and you think I'm reading a book and I'm sitting there going, Lord, please help this. Please help Mr. Jones or Mrs. Jones, whoever it is, you just never know.
Oh, you gonna call the Jones family now, huh?
I'm calling your family out. But no, be on time and be ready.
Right.
And then if you have witnesses, if you have a support team,
Mm-hmm.
they need to be on time too.
That's what I was going to ask you next about. Is it okay that you let your friends and your family know the court rules, or what are some of the court rules?
Well, here's the deal: the courthouse is a public arena.
Mm-hmm.
You pay taxes. On any given day, you can go down to the courthouse, and if you just want to sit in the courtroom and listen, you can. You pay for that. You pay those salaries. Part of your tax. That's what a part of your tax dollars pay for.
Mm-hmm.
What you want to do though, you don't want to come in with the entourage. You don't want to go in there 20 deep.
Yeah.
You in family law, and in the area I practice is not necessary. I typically would like, if I represent someone, I would like to see a parent or two,
Mm-hmm.
or a significant other, or someone there. And that's not for me. That's for just to keep my client focused. I always try to find if I have a client, I always want to know who's your best friend, or who's the person that you listen to. Who is the person that can calm you down?
Mm-hmm.
Who is that person? And that helps. That helps. I want that person there. And we can give you, like, if you miss work, we can give you a work excuse, etc. But you want to tell the way I talk to the team. I call it the team. If I represent you and you have a little team at the courthouse, I'm gonna say, okay, now when we go into the courtroom, everybody be quiet. Don't answer any questions unless you're asked to speak.
Mm-hmm.
You're supposed to just be there for moral support. Okay. Now, if there are witnesses, if there are witnesses in this group, it's different.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and that's a different conversation. I would have prepared them ahead of time anyway. Mm-hmm.
So, do you have to have a lawyer when you go to court?
You need one. You need one. I say it like this. I love it when I represent someone and then the other person shows up and doesn't have an attorney.
Mm-hmm.
I'm about to do it to you if you don't have an attorney.
Oh, you be ready then, huh?
Oh man, it's like handing somebody a football with no defenders.
Mm-hmm.
Why would you do that? It just makes no sense. I always kind of say it like this. I'm glad you touched on COVID at the beginning, because COVID is a good example of about what I'm about to say. Google, you can Google until you are blue in the face. You can know every single thing about COVID. You could have read everything the internet has to offer. But guess what you are not? You are not a PhD in science or biology. You are not an MD. So I don't care how much you read, you're talking surface knowledge.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? Another way I say it is like this. That's with COVID. Another thing is, it's real simple. I'm smart. I can read a book. I could read a book on how to fix the engine in my car. But guess what I don't know? I don't know those little tricks that the mechanics who do this every day, I don't know what they know. No matter how many books I read. It's the same with law. And that's one of the problems that I'm seeing in my practice and at the courthouse. A lot of folks, I must just say this, reality TV ain't real. And I said it like that on purpose. It ain't real. I have a master's degree in English, but I meant what I said. I said it the way I wanted to say it. It ain't real.
Mm-hmm.
So what I mean by that is you have people seeing images in movies and on TV, and they bring that presentation to the courthouse. And to be very candid with you, you got to know these judges don't look like us. They can't even relate to this slang you're using, these outbursts you're making, the tone, none of it. That's a problem. And so the answer to your question is, I believe that if you can afford an attorney, you need to go in with one, because your cousin's case isn't like yours. Oh, it's similar, but the facts could be different, and it could be a different judge. The laws have changed. You know, everybody got the know-it-all cousin or auntie.
Yeah.
And but see, when you lose your case, that person is nowhere to be found. Oh, girl, you don't need a lawyer. Here go this paper. I can draft it up for you. Oh, just go get the form. I cannot tell you how many times people have hired me because they tried to do it themselves, and they make it so far, right? So just so far, and then that's when the nuances of law kick in and they get stuck.
Right.
It happens all the time. I always say law is not a DIY project.
Yeah.
Hire someone. If you can afford someone, hire someone. That's just how I feel. And it's not to line my pockets. You need to respect my profession like I respect yours.
Right.
I really don't think I can go out to the plant right now and pull one lever. And I can read all about it. I would not know what I'm doing. Okay? I mean, I can drive, but I don't think I can drive a city bus. I don't know the rules. I don't know the ways. I don't know the nuances. I can't drive an 18-wheeler. Yeah, but I can drive a car. You see what I'm saying? So, yes, get a lawyer.
You was talking about earlier that if you had your client and your client was angry, you sit there and talk to the client, you pray over the client. But if you're angry or you find yourself in the worst type of any disposition, could you ask the judge for recess, or should you talk to the lawyer and ask the lawyer to ask the judge? How should you do that?
Talk about if the client is in the courtroom and is kind of been out.
Mm-hmm.
Ask your lawyer. 9 times out of 10, your lawyer knows. If you had a close working relationship with your lawyer, your lawyer will know that you are sitting there ticked off,
Right.
and the lawyer should, when the opportunity presents itself, ask the judge for a break. And then you want to go out into the hallway and try to reset. But
Mhm.
things are different now because we have COVID.
Right.
And
So
COVID has produced Zoom hearings and Zoom trials.
okay.
And so what you want to do in that situation, the same thing, ask your lawyer. You can text your lawyer while you're sitting there, hey, I need a break. And your lawyer will just say, Judge, can you put us in a breakout room? Can we take a break? And the judges are kind. They understand people get heated. I practice family law, and it's heavy on emotions,
Mm-hmm.
short on restraint, and heavy on just anger and frustration, pettiness and bitterness.
Let me talk to my listeners right now. Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for tuning in to Blue Table Talk. Hey, Cheryl, Kathy, and Carmen. And I see some more on the phone that on the comment section. Go ahead and pull yourself on the comment section and tell Terrence hello, because he's one of the lawyers here right here in Southeast Texas in Beaumont, and a great lawyer. So go ahead and say hey to him, or hello, or however you want to speak to him. He is the judge, one of the judges at the municipal court, right?
Right.
And an attorney as well with Carrier Allison Law Group. So go ahead and tell him hello. So if you have any questions that you would like to present to him, go ahead and put it on the comment section, and I will present it to him. Thank you, guys.
Thanks for doing that, because I'd like to answer some questions. Yeah, I really would.
And go ahead, y'all. Talk to him. Let him ask him questions. Come on now. Y'all know what y'all do. Okay, so we're in family court. Tell us a little bit about family court.
Woo. Where do I start? I mean, family law is where I feel like I can't say this is statistically true, but I believe that family law is where our folk are most likely to show up if we have to show up at a courthouse.
Okay.
Okay. Then, of course, right under that is criminal law.
Right.
Because we may have friends and loved ones who get into some type of trouble. But because of the divorce rates, because of the prevalence of out of wedlock births, all of that funnels you into family law, into the family courts. For example, if you and I have a child and we decide not to be together, and you apply for any type of benefits that are state or federally given out, doled out, the AG is going to come knocking at the door, on my door. They want to be reimbursed. They want to know who the father is. So family law is a big deal in our community, and we have a lot of misperceptions. And I would like to start right there I want to start with child support.
That's what I was going to ask
you.
That's the biggie. That's it.
That's the biggie. That is the one.
Yes, sir.
So just let me say this to the fellas. It is your duty to provide for your child financially. I believe if your cell phone bill is bigger than your child support bill, you should be ashamed. Because that cell phone bill is going to get paid.
Oh, yeah.
Every time. You're not going to let that phone get turned off. But the number of men that I see who are in arrears on child support is overwhelming. And all I hear is a concern about what the woman is going to do with the money. And I have to say that it's none of your concern. Your obligation is to pay the money that you're supposed to pay. And what you should do is be proud to pay it, because you're taking care. That's just one way you're taking care of your child. It's the minimum. It's the minimum. The smallest thing you could do, the easiest thing you can do is write a check or have some monies come out of your check. And the way to avoid it is so easy. It's so simple. Don't do it. And it's the hard truth. The hard truth is that if you don't want to pay child support, there is one surefire way not to do it. Don't sleep with her. Don't do it. If you are averse to child support and you know you don't want to pay, don't sleep with her. Okay, it's that simple. It's hard, but it's fair.
Yeah.
Now then, once you do, you roll the dice. It's a rolling of the dice. And what I see is a lot of men wanting to blame the women. They get mad at the women for wanting them to help out, to help. That's crazy.
I mean, you find some guys that even change jobs. And then they change job, and then they keep changing job, or they won't even work.
If I had $1 but every time I heard, I'm gonna quit my job.
Yeah.
Dude, you make $100,000 a year. You gonna quit just because some judge told you got to pay $800? What's $800 a month on $100,000 annually? That is the dumbest thing imaginable. You would take money, food out of your own mouth just to spite
child's mouth.
your child, and you really hurt because that's really who you're hurting, your child.
Right.
But it's a mindset, right? What an attitude that we could adopt is this: I paid my child support. I've done my job. Lady, don't ask me for nothing else. Because remember, once you pay the child support, you literally don't have to do anything else. Think about that for a second. You can look at this lady that you don't like, that you made a baby with, that you enjoyed sleeping with, and you can say, lady, I gave you the $500, and that is all I'm required to do. Guess what? There is not a requirement that the man spend time with the child. It is not required. So in my hypothetical where you and I have a child, I could say, okay, here's your $1,000 a month. No, I'm never gonna see the kid. Don't want nothing to do with it. Here's the $1,000. If I was that cold, I could do that.
Right.
We hope our men won't do that. But technically, legally, a man could. Just pay.
Just pay.
But even if that's all you do, you've done something. But if that's all you're going to do, make sure you do it on time, all the time, right? Do it. Actually do it. So, yeah, that child support, there's just a lot of misunderstanding, because what I hear also a lot is, well, that child support was based on all the overtime that I made and shutdowns that I worked in. Well, the AG, and I can't speak for the AG, but this is my take on it. They just take a pay stub and they look at what you've made year to date up until that moment, and then they do a calculation. Guess what? If next year your income drops substantially, go tell the AG. They'll listen, or call an attorney and file a modification. That's all you got to do. And things can change. Child support can go up and it can go down.
Yeah. I'm a witness. I'm a witness. It went up, it came down.
It can go up and cut, because in defense of men, there are some hard-working men who want to be more than a child support check.
Right.
They want to be involved. This is the new dude. And I love these guys. They are like, here's your money, and I'll give you extra. Just give me my kid. I don't want my kid just every first, third, and fifth weekend of the month from Friday to Sunday. That's not enough for me.
Mm-hmm.
I can't have an impact on my child's life. I love those guys.
Right.
And they typically come in and we fight for them to get more time. Mm-hmm. And I call them good daddies, the good daddies.
That's the daddies. Not the
These
sperm donors.
guys,
Not the sperm donors.
no, not the donors. These guys are walking into the courtrooms and winning.
Right.
They're doing very well to me. And I practice in Jefferson County, Harris County, Brazoria, Fort Bend, Tarrant County, and in East Texas. So I go all over the state. And I love it when I walk into it. Sometimes I just sit in courtrooms and watch pre-pandemic. And I love it when we have these good daddies. They are so passionate. And they tell these judges, you can take all the money you want. I just want my child. I do not care. And they mean it.
Right.
I've seen guys, check this out. I've seen men who want their kids so bad that they tell the women, I will continue to give you the money. Just give me my kid. That's cold. They don't even care. They're like, take my money, just give me my kid. Now those guys know what's up. Mm-hmm.
What one person want to know: does all the money go to the father, or do the state get a percentage?
The state does not get your child. When I pay you $500 in my hypothetical, you get it.
That's what you're gonna get.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. You get it. That's a good question. People worry about that.
They say, do the courts typically rule in the woman's favor?
No, they do not. It just seems that way. I can tell you why it feels that way, but I would have to hurt some feelings to explain to you why. It seems that way because traditionally we've had a lot of sorry daddies walking into the courtrooms.
Right.
We've had a lot of unprepared daddies walking into the courtrooms. We've had a lot of guys going into courts over the decades who have not understood the system. Because if you read the Texas Family Code, it states in part that there is to be no gender preference. I represent men who win. I do all the time. So again, there is no preference. It's wrong for a judge to do that. It goes against everything that the lawyers and judges stand for. So there's to be no gender preference, but it does seem like women win a lot to guys because, and then we get into history because Black men in particular have not fared well in the justice system. We have a bad feeling about the justice system. Everybody knows somebody who's been done wrong at the courthouse. So that's a perception, but we're trying to beat that down.
Right.
We are.
So what happens, Judge, if a man, if a woman had a child and so the guy know that it is not his child, but she wins and she gets the child support. And then at the end of the day, he finds out, I guess through DNA, that this was not his child. He done paid all these years.
Whew. Yeah, that's a tough one because
all these years.
I would say, don't hold me to this, but I would say about a decade or more ago, the laws changed and it permits. Can I use us again as a hypothetical?
Yes.
Me and you have a child.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's mine because we were dating.
Right. Exactly.
You were sleeping around on me and I didn't know. So for 7 years, I've been paying child support. Then somebody tells me, hey, Terrence, that's not that baby you had with Miss Jones ain't your baby. If I've never tested for child support, the law in a nutshell permits me to petition the court to test the child. This is if the child has no DNA test has ever been performed.
Right.
If we learn that indeed that child is not mine, then my child support going forward, there is no not going to be any child support going forward. I'm relieved of that obligation.
So we have the money that you already gave me.
It's gone.
But do I have to pay it back to you?
No, you don't. I've never seen a case where the woman is then ordered to reimburse. Mm-hmm. But I could make an argument for that happening. But the reason why that probably, and I'm not fresh on the case law, I'm not up to date on it, but I imagine that the reason that the woman is not being ordered to reimburse the man would be because you probably would have to prove that she knew it was intentional, it was malicious, it was really fraudulent. Mm-hmm. And I have not seen a case where the woman was ordered to pay the man back. And what you got to remember is most times the men are hurt. They're hurt. They kind of know it's not their child, but they bonded.
Right.
But they got to check. I have a lot of men say, I just got to know. And when the times where they find out the kid is not there, it's hard.
Right.
It's not a happy day. It's a sad day because in every case I've had like that, the guy is now wondering, what do I do? I've been in this child's life for 7, 8, 9 years. He knows me as daddy. Mm-hmm. Now what? And that's gonna cause a lot of problems. So yeah, but the woman paying the money back, I wouldn't count on that because I don't think it's in the statute. I don't think it's required.
Now I've known a case where the lady had a child for a man, and so he never paid child support. Mm-hmm. But when the child was older, grown, he found out that really was his child.
Really?
And so he had to pay money for that child. She went to court on that.
And got it?
And got the money.
That's amazing. The thing I see that's a hard pill to swallow is it's the man who is always behind in child support, right? Mm-hmm. His child is 18 and he's 20 or 30 or $40,000 in the hole. Mm-hmm. Next thing you know, that child is 30.
Right.
That child is 40. And now that child support is $70,000 or $80,000. Just because the child turns 18 doesn't mean the child support obligation stops. And now we're into heavy interest over all those years. You can never get out from under it. You can't.
So he has to pay that, right?
Well, you're paying not. It's a lifetime. It's like a lifetime sentence of child support. If you get behind, you got to fight to get back in the game because it'll hurt you later on.
Right.
Your child will be 30, 35 years old and you're still paying child support. It's crazy. And we don't want that because now that's hurting your family. You've had more kids. You got a wife. You know, it's a problem.
Can you use cross-examination in a family court?
Yes, I cross-examine people all the time. Yes, that's a part of it. That's a part of trial techniques. Yeah. Oh, believe you, if you're on if when you get on that stand, you're going to get worn out. Mm-hmm. Okay. See, my clients think I'm crazy. Because I tell them right from the jump, I'm going to ask you every crazy question I could possibly ask you. Because the reason I do it is because when you go to the courtroom, mm-hmm. I don't know what the other lawyer is going to ask my client. Some lawyers are beasts. Some lawyers are mean just to be mean.
Right.
So typically what my clients say is, man, you are a pain in the butt. But at the end, I see what you were doing mm-hmm. because I knew all the questions. Anything that pops in my head, I'm going to ask.
Right, right.
So that you'll be prepared. It could be I always say, I'm about to ask you something crazy. But
you keep them from getting angry, right?
Yeah, I don't want them angry, but some folks, you can just prep them to death and they just, emotions just take over. Because you got to remember, there's a lot of anxiety in a courtroom. You're sitting there you could be there all day answering questions. Most people have never done that. I've never had to sit on a witness stand and answer questions hour after hour. I ask the questions. I imagine after a while, I might get irritated. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
We try to coach against it, but it's just hard because we're human beings. And that's where we do that break that you talked about.
Right.
Let's take a recess.
Let's take a recess because you know I'm upset. You know
I know you're upset. This lawyer is wearing my client out. We need a recess. We need a break. Please.
Okay, so I know. Well, this was back in the day. Every 2 years you can ask for an increase, right? Is it still like that? What?
I say increase in. You talking about be back on child support?
Mm-hmm.
Here's the general rule in my office. If you come to me, I don't care whether it's 1 month or 3 years, whatever it is. If the person you have a child with, male or female, if you know they've gone from making $50,000 a year, now they make $100, we need to file something.
What if it decrease?
Now, see, people don't want that. Nobody's rushing to my office to say, "Hey, I heard he lost his job. I need my child support lowered to help him out." Oh no. Oh no.
So you can ask for increase if the guys,
the income has to support it.
Yeah. Okay.
So that's why I think it's unfair, because if you think about the pandemic, people were really hurting. People were really losing their jobs. Many men lost opportunities, but their child support stayed the same. And now many men are behind. Then you have to hire a lawyer to go in and deal with the AG, to deal with the family courts and say, look, from May to October, I didn't have a job. I couldn't get into court because of COVID. So we need to adjust, even if we just adjust that period. Take those arrears off of me, reduce them, because I didn't have a job. And judges are real people. They understand. They know that people were out of work. Okay. So where they got all the restaurants and places that shut down all across the state. And the child support stays the same, still $500, but you don't have a job. No, that's not fair. Now, I'm not talking about the dude who intentionally goes from working at the plant and then decides to spite the mama, I'm going to go work at Walmart. Yeah. I'm going to argue all day that man is underemployed and the child support should not change. And put it in the judge's hands to make a decision, because that's not right either. So what else happens in the family court besides child support? Well, divorce. Yeah. Divorce is the biggie. People breaking up. Right. Make up the breakup. And is that hard over there? I'll say it's two different. There's a couple of different types of clients that I see. You see patterns in divorce. It takes so long. It takes so long for it doesn't have to. Divorce. No, it doesn't. It doesn't have to. Okay. Back to me and you as my little hypothetical. We get married. We decide we both know we don't need to be together. We don't have much. Let's say all we did was we bought 2 cars, one for me, one for you. We've been married about 3 or 4 years. I'm driving your car, so I got that should be simple. Where the parties agree is the emphasis. where the parties agree that they don't want to be together. They're not fighting over spoons and forks. They just want to get away from each other, and they're calm and rational. We can get them out. You have to wait 60 days in the state of Texas. That is the minimum.
Okay.
But we can, if you don't fuss and fight about stuff, we can get you close to that 60th day. But when me and you start fighting over, oh, but I want the Jag and you can have the Mercedes, and yeah, I want the Mercedes because the note is cheaper and the insurance is cheaper, and we just start fussing, then it stretches out. Fighting is when you hear lawyers make a lot of money because the people make us make a lot of money.
But y'all like to linger, hold things out.
I don't. No. That is not true. People think that is a misperception.
Okay.
Okay, I'm gonna take you behind the veil.
Okay.
There are some clients I can't wait to get rid of. I'm tired of them. I don't care how much money they paid. It's time to get your divorce over with.
Mm-hmm.
You have exhausted me. You worn down my staff. You're not a nice person.
Right.
I work so hard to get you out of what little bit of her I got. Okay? What you're talking about is what we call in the profession churning cases.
Mm-hmm.
Just coming up with stuff.
Just to linger.
I tell you this, I'm not casting aspersions on other folk, but I don't know any lawyers who look like me who do that. I need that to be absorbed a little bit. In this area are some of the finest Black lawyers I have ever seen. And they all are underrated. They are all not used enough by the community. It is amazing. I have never lived up in a place this size with so many qualified attorneys, and our community does not use them. We will give the money to the other folk. Mm-hmm. And you know some of these folks don't care a thing about you. If I represent you, let me tell you what's going to happen. I'm probably going to know your cousins and your siblings. I'm probably going to go to church with somebody you know. I probably went to school with somebody you know, or I might even know you. I don't get to run away to my little fancy neighborhood. I'm always in your orbit. I can't escape you. But some other folk can take your money, do a job, and the outcome doesn't matter. If I do bad for you, I got to hear about it at church. I got to hear about it at the class dance.
Yeah.
I got to answer. It's like I got to answer to a whole community. The pressure is different. My investment in you is different. And then they're going to talk about the other one, huh? No. No, never. They get a pass. I have heard some of the worst stories, and I cannot believe it. I say, but if that was me, you'd report me to the state bar. You try to take my license. They can get away with anything. Anything. Lawyers not calling them, not showing up for court, all kind of stuff.
So do you stay in contact with your clients?
Yeah, I'm so proud of the system. Okay, so here's the deal. The biggest complaint about lawyers, according to the state bar, is lawyers not clients complain about lawyers not getting back to them. So at our office, we have built in a system, and I'm so proud of it. We use this system to where you can text us anytime, day or night. You can email us anytime, day or night. Now, I'm not going to respond to you at 2:30 a.m.
Oh, man, I was going to text you at 2:30.
But I will at 6. But we put in checks and balances.
Right.
To try to address that issue, because it's a common problem. It's pervasive It's pervasive in our profession. So we want to be accessible. And I talk to my clients on the weekends. A lot of them have my cell phones, but there comes a point where you have to disengage. So on Sundays, I don't want to talk to anybody.
Right.
It's hard. Like, cause I go to church, and I mean, you'll find yourself not going to church just because you don't want to. You represent some people in the church, and you trying to praise the Lord, and when that person walks up to you, they want to talk about your case, and you're just like, man, not now. We're in church. I'm praying for you, right? Can I pray for you? I'm praying about your case. So that happens.
Yes.
But yeah, so there are some lawyers are typically, not all lawyers are wealthy.
Right.
That's a common thought that's not true. We're not all in it for the money. I went to law school to seek justice. That's the real reason. It sounds corny, but it's the truth. I didn't know how much I was gonna make. I was a black lawyer. I figured I wasn't gonna get what the other guys got. Mm-hmm. I didn't know. I don't have any lawyers in my family. My daddy was not a lawyer. So I just truly went because I said, man, I want to make a change. I think I can. I chose the area of family law because that's where I think I can have the greatest impact, where I can come in touch most frequently with everyday folk.
You're right.
People who don't have $10,000 and $15,000 to pay me a retainer, who all they got is the $2,000 they saved up. Mm-hmm. I'm gonna help you, but you gotta pay on time. If I give you a payment plan, pay it. Don't dog me out. There are cases, people come to me and they say stuff like this. Well, the other lawyer wanted $8,000. $8,000 for a $2,500 problem? I'm amazed. Now, those are the wealthy lawyers.
Yeah.
Those are the wealthy. It's because we charge it. We're not supposed to really talk about money, but we charge a fair rate, and we don't try to take. We don't. It's not. It's really not. It's about the service. Mm-hmm. Because if you provide a good service, everything will fall into place, right?
You'll get a good return. Yeah.
But then there are just people that you can't satisfy. Like any business, like McDonald's, they can make the best Big Mac, but when I bought it, I didn't like it. Mm-hmm. And the effort is out. My thing is that in our office, to make it plain, the effort is always there. Mm-hmm. Always. We want to help folks. That's it. We want to help people.
So if I go to court and interview a court or whatever, should I say, sir, or should I say your honor, or should I say, what should I say? How should I present?
Your honor or judge?
Yeah.
Judge.
Because I know you have to be respectful, and that there are rules and procedures done at the courthouse.
Yes.
And for the people themselves. So.
And the judge should respect you.
Yes.
If you're on your sir and ma'am game, and judge, I don't have a lawyer. I can't afford an attorney, but I'm going to represent myself. And judges are helpful. They want to be helpful. Okay? They want to be helpful. I find that if you're nice to the judge is going to be nice to you. They tend to be just very patient folk in general because they deal with like the community out there every day. Mm-hmm. I think in Jefferson County, we have some pretty good judges. And again, I practice all over the place.
Right.
I recently, like about 4 or 5 months ago, had a case in Tarrant County, and the judge was just rude to me. Dogged me out. And then after it was over, she called me back to her chambers. And she says, I'm so sorry. I had a bad day. I am so sorry for how I treated you. See, they're human. Okay? They're not robots.
Right.
And I said, thank you, Judge. Maybe next time it'll be different. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So you can only practice in Jefferson County. You can't go in.
I practice all across the state.
Okay.
My license is for the state of Texas. So I practice in many, like I said, I practice in many jurisdictions. I see a lot.
Mm-hmm.
A lot. So we take cases, we can represent, if it's in Texas, we can represent you from El Paso all the way over here to Old Beaumont.
Because I was going to ask you what are the jurisdictions of the family court? Can you go everywhere?
I can go any and everywhere. Yes, any and everywhere. And I do.
I know that. Mm-hmm. I know that there was a case where with myself and my husband at the time, and we were in Jasper County, mm-hmm. and we had to use a Jasper lawyer. Mm-hmm. And I was wondering why, because I mean, we're in Beaumont, we're in the Jefferson County. Mm-hmm. The lady, his ex-wife was in Jasper County, so they had us to leave.
Why did you feel compelled to use a Jasper attorney? Why is that? Nobody told you that.
Nobody told me.
Why did you feel that way? It was just a feeling?
I didn't use the Jasper County. We had to after the fact, because we wanted to use the lawyer in the Jefferson County. But right. Even the lawyer in Jefferson County told that they couldn't practice in Jasper County.
That was a lie. If you look at my license, if you go to the State Bar website and study Texas licenses, I can practice anywhere. I took my bar exam was for the state of Texas, in every little place and every big place. I was in Jasper today, virtually, all across the state. I take my little old self in Dallas, up to Houston, Austin, San Antonio, everywhere. Our license is good to practice. We're good to go in the state of Texas, period.
So they could.
I don't want people. So if a lot of people, like a lot of Beaumont people live in Houston, right? They moved to Houston. If you got a Houston case, we can help you. We have relationships with Houston lawyers. We know the Houston judges. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. It's only an hour away.
Right.
Mm-hmm. 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 In Houston, in our family courts, you will see Houston lawyers too.
Right.
Mm-hmm. They come over here and practice. They take cases over here.
I know that for a fact. Mm-hmm. I know that for a fact. But the thing was, the lawyers wouldn't go to Jasper. I don't know if they were scared.
Some lawyers, there are places some lawyers just don't want to practice. Period. Mm-hmm. Like Brazoria County, I don't like to go to Brazoria, but I will. But it's not the place. I don't like to go there. Now, if you really need me to go, I will. But I don't prefer to go there. You see what I'm saying?
I see what you're saying.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Well, the clock on the wall says we have to get out of here. And so...
Did you enjoy our conversation?
I did, but we're going to need a part 2 of this, a family
There's
law.
A lot to talk about.
There's a lot to talk about in family law.
Right, there is.
There are some things that, I really want to hit on, but time permits us to...
Yeah. Well, I wish we had more questions, but people can always... Could I tell them where they can reach me? Because I think that's important.
Yes, I did put it on here.
Did you put it up?
I didn't put the phone number, but
Let me say our phone number, if you don't mind. Oh, thank you. Our phone number is 409-835-8330.
Let me see if I got this right.
Yeah, 409-835-8330. That's all right. That's where we can be reached.
That's it.
That's it. I mean, it looks like all one big smudge,
Oh, see.
You didn't give me a dash.
Karen's not gonna fall out.
We're gonna fall out about this.
You know we're gonna fall out. You already know that.
I like what you do, and I thank you so much for the opportunity.
I thank you for coming on. Trust me.
I wish you great. There you go. I wish you great success.
Thank you, Terrence.
I really enjoyed I enjoyed the talk. I hope the people did.
I said we don't have to do a part 2 because a lot of people want to know about the family court and the child support and
it's a big thing.
I mean, you worked in the district and before, So you saw how the children suffered.
They really do suffer. It's
They do
sad.
suffer. Yeah.
It's hurtful. It's hard to watch.
Right. It's hard to watch.
So these issues, they're so connected and so intertwined, and a lot of times these kids know, like, they're impacted by what their parents are doing, what they're going through. You notice your kid, like your parents are going through a divorce. You might see the kids' grades
Right. It
start to plummet,
yeah.
right? It's and they're aware. No matter how much you try to keep them away from the fighting, they are always aware of what's going on. They sense it, they feel it, they know when something is wrong.
Right.
Right. So we got to protect our babies. We got to provide for them, love them, and just be sensitive to their needs and how we behave. Let's say me and you in our hypothetical, we got a kid and we just decide we're not going to be together. There's a way we can do it that doesn't destroy it, just blow up everything.
Right.
And hurt the children.
Right.
We can be kind to each other. You can have an amicable divorce.
Mm-hmm.
We don't have to stay at each other's throats. But when if I'm going at your throat and you're going at mine, the kids know.
Right. They know.
Okay.
So you're gonna next time we're gonna do a part 2, and you have to give a lesson on family structure 101.
We can talk about it because I deal with it every day.
Every day.
Every day.
But we'll be talking.
All right. Well, thank you.
Thank you guys for coming on Blue Table Talk. I appreciate you guys. You always support me. God bless you. God keep you as my prayer. If I can help someone as I pass along this way, then you know that my living is not in vain. God bless you. God keep you as my prayer. Smooches.
Bye. Amen. Goodbye. Bye-bye. I got